Coming in at number 10 on our list is Duke from SKT. And we have now made it to the top 10 players at Worlds. No longer top 20, it's just the top 10, clearly. But actually, this guy might be a little higher than some expect on the list. I have him at 9. Deficio, you have him at 12, and Spawn, you also have him at 9. So I'll let you start us off for him. I just talked a lot.
All right, cool. So with Duke, I think it's really hard to place just how good Duke is at the moment, because I think that fundamentally he is such a sound top laner. He team fights incredibly well, has a good laning phase, and we saw, in my opinion, what this guy can do in 1v1 situations at MSI, where he was able to take down Looper, then he was able to take down Darshan, you know, who was having a better tournament at that stage, you know, had picked up Maokai. And I really do think that Duke is one of these players that rises to the occasion when the going gets tough. So that's why I had him higher. But at the same time, you know, SKT, not really a top-centric team. He is much more known for his team fighting and map play, so I can see that there might be some arguments to put him lower.
Yeah, that's why I have him lower on my list. I think Duke is on the wrong team. Because Duke is basically the kind of guy who individually 1v1 can rival anyone in the world, like even Smith in a pure 1v1. The problem for Duke is that, first of all, his jungler doesn't help him, almost no matter who it is, because either he's just dying on his own or he's ganking all the lanes. So Duke doesn't get that much help. It's also a team which has 2 of the absolute best carries in the world, so they don't actually need Duke to be a carry as well up in the top lane. And while, yes, actually his most played champion in his professional career is Maokai, then it's not the kind of thing you kind of associate with Duke. Because you look at carries, you look at champions where he can win lane 1v1, but he's the kind of guy on SKT who often has to play like the more supportive style, and then he has TP bottom lane, he has to play with the team, which is not the Duke style, and that's why, even though he's so gifted 1v1, I actually don't put him higher, because he's on the wrong team.
When I rank him at 9th, I try not to fault him for having Faker and Bang on the team.
Yeah.
Like, they have such tremendous carries, it's hard for his like damage percentage to be really high because these other guys are doing so much. But you speak about his laning phase, like the best CS differential at 10 of all top laners in Korea. Incredibly impressive. Before he was on SKT, he was an exceptional player. And he's transitioned in a really, I think, graceful way onto SKT, even though it hasn't been as hyped as some people were expecting when they lost Marn and brought in Duke. He plays what the team needs. He does exceptionally well on the lane. And overall, that just puts him, like, obviously not the best player in the world, but it definitely gets him into the top 10.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing here. You know, talking bad about Duke is kind of weird because he is so good, but because he has some of those issues, you know, where he plays maybe a different role than what he wanted to on his SKT lineup, I just put him slightly further down. Not him individually, but what he's doing for his team. I actually think, and I'm going to be a little bit crazy here maybe, if you put him on Rocks Tigers and you swap the top laners, I think you could actually argue for Duke being top 3 in the world. I'm going to say top 3 because I want to see it first. I don't want to just throw him up there being
tricky,
number 1.
Because you have to kind of separate the player from their environment, and you can't just say like, oh yeah, if he had everything around him, he'd be perfect. You have to take that into mind in like this subjective list.
Yeah, 100%. I guess the only thing that you can carry across is the fact that his fundamentals haven't changed and he still has a very good global awareness of League of Legends. And I think that when you are able to make those teleport
isn't that
plays...
one of these... Sorry, I didn't mean to drop down your pen there. He's taking mine.
He was so angry.
No, I was like, yeah.
You have him at 9, I have him at 12.
Yeah, no, I think that at times he has been criticized for it, but it is something that he has gotten, in my opinion, much better at. And I think that right now he kind of has slipped into that, you know, tank facilitative, big team fighting role incredibly well.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's gotten better. I think it can still get better, and now we're nitpicking because we're obviously in the top 10, you know, in the world. So that's why I feel like it's justified to do. Yeah, he can get better, you know, being a team player. The team doesn't play that much around him. Again, that's why I don't have him higher specifically. I think he could get higher because he is so good individually.
Yeah, so overall, that means we have him at 10th on our list. Deficio has his pen back. Duke, the 2nd best top laner at Worlds, and the 10th ranked player at Worlds for us.